ho buddies, Multiple Line Games. I'm Gareth and today we're playing Chaos Head. Last time we saw a couple of girls with swords. We saw Sena, is that her name, or Senna? Who was in the middle of the street. She said, "Can you see my sword?" waving it in front of us, which kind of suggests that we have some kind of, I don't know, like we can see things that other people can't for some reason because of our Esper abilities. And also we saw Fez, who was a girl in the school, which we suspected. She completely blanked Masumi-kun, is that his name? Let's get these things right in the intro. 1 second. Chaos Head character names. Characters. Masumi. Yeah, his name's Masumi. Daisuke Masumi. Yeah, so Fez from the band something. They're called something, right? The head of the band? Is that what you call them? The leader of the band, Fez, goes to our school, and she walked past us and completely denied Masume's advances, which kind of showed him for the chauvinist pig that he kind of is, because we saw like a bit of an ugly side when he was rejected. And now we're heading straight for the Animate without stopping by the At Cafe. We had a horny encounter last episode, and we had a deadly encounter last episode, so next encounter is going to be a horny one. Get excited. Boy! Today I headed straight for the Animate without stopping by At Cafe. The reason, of course, was to finally pick up my long-awaited blood-tuned figure, Seratan, post-awakening version. While I was in checkout, Yua's face crossed my mind for a second, but I cut off those thoughts immediately. I glanced at the Seratans that were set on display in order to attract customers, but since the sculptor was Yoshio, not a single word needed to be said about their quality. I had to get home fast, so I could enjoy her every nook and cranny as soon as possible. Oh, he's so gross. As long as I could admire Seratan's face every now and then while I played ESO, I was content. So why did the entire third dimension do nothing but bring me trouble? It plagued me even now. I headed straight for my base in high spirits, forgetting all about Fez and swords and whatever else, and practically skipping the entire way home. He's in his element. Oh. When I was about 50 meters away, I encountered two men who carried an unmistakably abnormal air about them. I attempted to pass them by them without making eye contact, but they were very clearly watching me. "You over there. Could we have a moment?" The first of the two to call out was a dull older man, one that looked like he belonged at a cycling racetrack, gambling his life away. Wow, called out. His hair was a mess and his unshaven beard was somehow worse. He wore a worn-out old suit, a sloppily tied necktie and dress shoes that didn't show a trace of being cared for. All of it came together to form an unparalleled example of a man who'd failed to get ahead in life. For some reason, the fact that he was flapping a fan at himself only served to further emphasize how pathetic he looked. His expression was similarly languid, his mouth curled into a flippant smile. And yet, when our eyes met for a split second, I knew then that he wasn't really smiling. There was nowhere to run. As I searched for something to reply to them with, the two men made their way up to me. "In case you're wondering who we are." The old man took out a black badge from his suit and held it out toward me. It was the same kind of police badge you'd seen in various TV shows, but it was obviously the first time I'd seen a real one. They'd finally come for me. They could only be here for the one thing, the crucifixion case. "Mind if we ask you a couple of questions?" "We won't force you, of course." "Oh, no, don't worry. You can take it easy. We're not after you or anything. We just want to hear your take on things, honest." The way he spoke didn't show a trace of trying to intimidate me. The other younger detective, however, wore a strict expression as he nonchalantly moved to block my path. Sweat started running down my neck. If I made any wrong moves, they'd likely suspect me of being the culprit, and haul me down to the station right then and there. I didn't want that to happen. I resigned myself and gave a small nod.
Let's see. Have you heard about what's commonly referred to as the New Generation Madness?
I knew it. I wiped the beads of sweat off my forehead, then gave him a nod in reply.
Then, you'd also know about the third case, also known as the crucifixion case, correct? It did happen right in this neighborhood after all. We've been looking for witnesses. Oh, and while we're at it, would you tell me your name?
A gulp forced itself down my throat. This wasn't some bait and switch shit, was it? Or maybe they were a bunch of con men who were only acting like policemen, while in reality they were just mining my personal information so they could put it all to ill use. They could even do the demon girl's underlings. Oh, they could be the girl's underlings.
You still there? Did we lose you?
If they started to suspect me, there'd be no end to it. What should I do? If I gave them a fake name, they might arrest me immediately.
Oh, you worried about protecting your personal info? Ouch. Do I really look like that untrustworthy?
I'll say. Either way, his friendly way of speaking had to be just an act. Nishijoru Takumi. In the end, I figured there was no way around it, that it was in my best interest to answer honestly.
Nishijoru Takumi. Kun. Mind if I call you that?
I shook my head.
You sure about that?
Huh? What was that supposed to mean? I'd purposely given him my real name. So what the hell was that reaction?
Sorry, I'm just yanking your chain. A skosh. Don't worry about it.
The detective's unnatural laughter rang throughout the quiet residential area. Ugh, just hurry up and let me go already.
That uniform of yours. It's from Sumai, ain't it? What year are you?
Did I have to answer stuff like that? Second.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. I'm at that age where your ears start to go. Could you run that by me one more time?
I'm a second year.
Second year. Got it. Alright then. Nashijiro-san, as for what we wanted to ask you. Where were you on the 29th from 6 PM to 10 PM?
Were they asking me for an alibi? Did that mean they suspected me? That's ridiculous.
Oh, it's not like we suspect you or anything. Just thought if you were in the neighborhood, you might have seen someone suspicious or heard something. That's all.
For some reason, the way the guy talked was really starting to get to me. Maybe talking in a way that deliberately agitated the subject was some kind of interrogation technique. Of course, I had seen someone suspicious. I'd seen someone very clearly, and with my own two eyes. But I wasn't sure if it would be a good idea to tell that to this shady old guy. What would I do if I told him, and then the demon girl came back for revenge? It seemed like the demon girl was letting me run free for now. But she still had Shogun on her side, and he was equipped with precognitive powers. So, by that logic, that must have meant that the demon girl had some sort of insane power as well. And if that was true, and I told the police about it, she might find out about it immediately because her clairvoyance or whatever, and then she'd come to kill me right after.
Say, Nishijiro-kun, surely it isn't that hot out today, is it?
My heart rate skyrocketed. If I stayed silent like this, they'd absolutely suspect me of being the criminal, but at the same time I was scared that if I lied and said I didn't see anything, they'd see right through me. The older man fanned me a couple of times with his fan. A cool breeze rustled my hair.
We're pretty deep into fall after all, so I can't say I feel it's hot enough outside to be sweating. Well, no one's built quite the same as anyone else, I suppose.
Ironic considering he was the one walking around with a fan. But he was right. It wasn't all that hot out today. It was perfect, actually. The kind of temperature you'd actually enjoy spending time in. I'd wiped the sweat off my forehead with my sleeve countless times now. I didn't do it.
Oh?
The look in his eyes shifted. I realised that I'd slipped up, but I had no idea what exactly had tipped him off.
What didn't you do?
They definitely suspected me. I had to answer honestly. Oh, staring at the manhole cover right beneath my feet, I began to blurt out everything. I saw something. At the crucifixion crime scene, there was a girl. She was standing in front of the body, and her hands were covered in blood. There were tons of stakes stabbed into the corpse. There had to be over 500 of them. It was so messed up. The body, it looked almost like a hedgehog. The girl, she looked at me and she said, "Thank goodness," and then she smiled at me. That girl, she's not human, she's a demon. She's the culprit behind New Gen. She's a being that transcends humanity. She has precognition and super strong ESP and... Upon saying that much, I realised the two detectives were staring at me with their eyes wide. Maybe they didn't believe me. Thinking that, I clamped my mouth shut.
A demon, huh? I see. That's very helpful.
I'm telling the truth.
I know. I never doubted that. You've given us some valuable information.
Please get the police to protect me.
Before we do all that, do you know how old the girl was? Her clothes, her facial features, stuff like that'll also do.
A Sumai uniform.
Sumai? You mean Sumai Academy?
She was wearing a Sumai uniform.
In other words, she goes to the same high school as you, Nishijo-kun.
After simmering on that for a moment, the old man grinned. He then muttered something that could be either an actual question or him just mumbling to himself.
What year's she in, I wonder? What do you think, Nishijo-kun?
I don't know.
Alright then. Then what's her name?
I don't know that either. I don't know that demon's name.
What about her height and weight? Oh, and while you're at it, her measurements.
Creepy. What was up with this old man? Was he screwing with me? How was I supposed to even know a single one of those? Did he think I could instantly get all those measurements from a single glance? Oh yeah, sure, I absolutely had such a stupid power. Oh wait, no I didn't, because this wasn't a goddamn rom-com manga.
So, you coming up over there to tell me you don't know. No big deal. You've been a big help today. I've got to head back to HQ and consider all this carefully.
Sir, are you serious? Waving his hand to silence the dumbfounded younger detective, the older man signalled something to him with his eyes.
Oh, before I forget, Nishijo-kun, could you tell us how to get a hold of you?
Huh? Why? I knew they wouldn't believe me. They wanted to label me as some nut job and falsely accuse me of everything.
Well, you said there was a demon, didn't you? We've got to protect you from it somehow, no?
Oh. So that was why he'd asked. Oh, thank God. They actually believed me. If I could get the police to protect me, it'd be incredibly reassuring. Yes, the enemy was a demon, so the police would only get one shot if they went up against her, but it was better than being unarmed. Feeling slightly relieved, I took out the phone I'd bought a few days prior and showed him my phone number. The younger detective scribbled it down in his notebook.
Well then, time for us to jet. Thank you for your time. We'll keep you safe, so don't you worry. Alrighty. If I have any more questions, we'll give you a ring, so keep your ears peeled. Make sure not to pretend like you're not there or something, you hear me? As of now, you're an invaluable asset to the police.
Huh?
Your eyewitness testimony could be exactly what we need to blow this case wide open. Have a good one.
The two detectives bowed their head and promptly took off. After taking a glance at me over his shoulder, the younger detective whispered something to the older one. The older man paid him no mind and simply continued to walk. I let out a long, long sigh. That was intense. It was the first time I'd ever been questioned by actual detectives. I'd acted pretty suspiciously, without meaning to, but they believed me anyhow, somehow. God, I'd give anything for the police to arrest the demon girl. Then again, the police didn't have any special powers, so maybe I should keep my expectations low. I then noticed that my mouth had gone incredibly dry, without me realizing. So I redirected myself to the nearest vending machine and got myself a cola. Back home. Holy shit, the costume on the post-awakening version is way too erotic. Her panties are completely visible. But that's what's good about it. Sarah, your face is so cute, Sarah. The attempt to match the anime is somewhat lacking, but her face was that distinct eroticism to it. It has that distinct eroticism to it that permeates through all of Kajima Yoshio's works, which more than makes up for it. One of your best works, Kashima-san. GJ, my lord. Her jacket was removable too. From this angle, she looks completely naked. Holy shit! The way her hair flows looks so fucking good. I had a theory that the hair would be what truly sells the post-awakening version, and I definitely wasn't wrong there. Alrighty then. The part we've all been waiting for. Let's take a look at the panties. Let's see! Wow, they did an amazing job on her V-zone. The wrinkles look so real. Wait, no. Could it be a camel toe? Holy shit. Holy shit. The sheer quality on display here is truly awesome sauce. Wow, awesome sauce. Dated really poorly. And what a creep is this guy. This is only the 5th model, yet they've managed to put out a masterpiece this quickly. Seriously, how do they expect to top this? Kojima is an actual god. I carefully stood my new Saratan next to my monitor. Sarah, you're so sexy, Sarah. Simply looking over at her made me grin uncontrollably. Life was good. I logged on and immediately started posting my impressions of my new Saratan figure on @channel. When I finished doing that, I went to check my email, then checked to see if any of my friends on Freepara had posted any updates. Oh, I've got a friend request. Who's this? Probably someone from the Sarah fandom. Sure, accept. Now then, time for ESO. But the very second I thought that... Uh-oh. I felt chills on the nape of my neck. It was the gaze, complete with its usual intense presence. Whose eyes are those eyes? Okay, so we're due a horny button, aren't we? Damn it. This was not the time. When had I first started feeling the gaze? I'd long since forgotten. It slithered its way into each and every part of my life, bothering the shit out of me all the way. There were a lot of things that disturbed my peace, but the gaze was right up there with Nanami as the most irritating thing I had to deal with. Fine then. Let's do it. The it'll take more than that to make me turn around game. It'll take me more than that to turn... It'll take more than that to make me turn around game. Still fixated on my monitor, I tried to think of some cool lines you'd hear in a manga. Come on out, you piece of shit. Did you think you could pull the wool over my eyes? How incredibly naive. Who's there? No wiggles. Ah, you found me out. Of course I have. How many times have I told you not to stand behind? Huh? Was that a woman's voice just now? Goosebumps stood all up. Goosebumps stood up all over my body. Goosebumps stood up all over my body. Had the reclusive owner of the gaze finally decided to show themselves? Was that even possible? Should I turn around and see who it was? What if she attacked me the moment I did? It was a fairly cute sounding voice, but what if in reality a monster far removed from anything human was standing there? No. If that were the case, wouldn't that mean they were getting ready to attack me right now, and if I didn't turn around, I wouldn't even notice if they killed me? Maybe I should say something else to see if they'd respond. It was possible that the voice I'd heard was just a hallucination, or a delusion, or something, so that'd help confirm it. And I mean, I talk to my Serotan figure all the time in my head. It had to be the same thing. What? I tried to be bold and ask, who are you? But I hesitated. If I was to provoke the attacker, it could have easily spelled the end for me. It could have caused her to finally stop waiting and attack me. So many delusions ran through my head that I found myself completely paralyzed. What should I do? Maybe the whole thing was a product of my own design, and I was just being the world's biggest dumbass. I swear if the owner of the gaze wasn't here, and I'd just been sitting here trembling in fear over nothing, I was going to kill myself. Huh? Taku, why are you so tense? Who is it? Oh god. It really wasn't a hallucination or a delusion. There was someone right behind me. Startled, I reflexively turned around. Oh! Who is that? Oh, it's her! Hiya. The demon girl. The girl sitting on the sofa was undeniably the same one I had seen at the crucifixion crime scene. And now, for some reason I couldn't comprehend, she was just standing there looking at me, smiling. Oh fuck. Oh fuck, oh fuck! She'd finally come to kill me. It had to be because of the detectives I'd talked to. She'd seen me do it with her clairvoyance. After that, she'd infiltrated my base without making a sound, took up a position in which she could kill me at any moment, and now she was reveling in my fear as I cried and screamed in terror. It couldn't be anything else. Don't kill me! I tried to scream, but I was too terrified to make a sound. Addo's didgeridoo? Tilting her neck to the side, the demon girl unleashed a strange incantation. It had to be some demonic tongue. She was cursing me. In hopes of gaining as much distance as possible from her, I went to hide underneath my desk. Problem was, I was so shaken that I ended up bashing my head against the edge of it, rendering me unable to move as I writhed in pain.
What are you doing, Taku? That was a crazy loud sound you just made. Bonk.
Even now the demon girl was keeping up her amused smile. But it had to be a trap. One built to lull me into a false sense of security. The second I let my guard down, she'd swoop in and end me. Or maybe she already had, with that curse she'd placed on me a minute ago. In a few days, my entire body would suddenly start spewing blood everywhere, and I'd die right then and there. I beg you. Don't kill me. I got down on my hands and knees, cradling my head between my arms. Those goddamn detectives had completely fucked me over. I'm sorry I talked to the police, so please...
Huh?
And even when I told them everything, they didn't believe a word I said. It was a lie meant to buy me some time. The older detective had said he'd guarantee my safety. If he was doing his job properly, he had to have sent at least one officer over to my place. Upon thinking that, I suddenly realised I'd given the old man my phone number. but I hadn't given him my address.
Fishy.
Ugh! Suddenly the demon girl assumed a pose resembling a salute. And what was just as, if not more strange, was what she'd said. It was almost like a sound effect. Was it another demonic curse?
You're gonna stop talking like that right now. Stuff like, don't kill me, the police, or anything weird like that. I've got no clue what any of that means.
What was she trying to play dumb? Or was this her roundabout way of threatening me and in actuality she was saying forget the truth, act as if nothing ever happened? What the hell was she thinking? Hadn't she come here to kill me?
Come on, can you stand? Here, let me help you up.
The demon girl got up from the couch and reached her hand out to me. Her expression was so gentle, and now that I was seeing her up close, she was actually pretty cute. Oh no, Takumi, don't do it. Damn it, I was letting her get to me. Stop acting like a goddamn idiot. Was I seriously calling a demon pretty cute? She was a murderer. She'd used Yua and Shogun to trap me, and now she'd come to finish me off herself. Don't trust her. I'd already learned my lesson back with Yua. I'd never make the same mistake again. I refused to take her hand. Don't be deceived by this demon girl's smile. She was a demon girl, trying to tempt me. If I gave in to that temptation, I'd die. Trust no one. Don't believe anything. Don't believe anything anyone says. But I saw you kill someone.
Taku, don't you realize that's a pretty mean thing to say? Can't say I ever thought I'd get called a murderer.
What's she going to do with me? Aren't you gonna kill me? Just like with the guy in the fourth case. Was she gonna...
For New Gen?
Or are you gonna take me to where Yua and Shogun?
Yua? Shogun? Who are those guys?
Maybe the three of them had decided to work together. That way I wouldn't be able to fight back when they beat me to death. No, please, anything but that. Help me.
Okay. I promise I'll help you. As long as you stop treating me like a murderer.
So that was her true goal.
Oh, come on, don't freak out like that. You react like this to every other thing I say and it always bums me out.
Please, I won't tell a single soul about you again, so please, let me go.
Hello? Taku, could you calm down a little?
This bitch acted like we were close or something, calling me Taku and shit. Wait, actually, how did she know my name? She'd already known it back when we'd first met at the crucifixion crime scene. How? How did she know it? And also, how had she known where my base was?
I mean, why wouldn't I? It only makes sense.
Why, I know your name, I mean. Huh? Has she just read my mind? I knew she was clairvoyant. She knew my name, my address, all because she'd used her powers on me.
You sure do talk to yourself a whole lot, Taku. Then again, you've pretty much always done that. You've pretty much always done that.
Always? How long was she talking? Wait, had I been talking to myself out loud just now? I hadn't been aware of it at all. Was that really true? Had I really been talking to myself out loud? Or was it possible that she was just lying to me and in actuality she'd read my mind?
Why wouldn't I know your name, Taku? I mean, I know I'm not great at remembering stuff, but I always remember the names of my friends.
Friends?
Also, Taku, are you making fun of me? Sure, my test scores aren't that high, but it kinda hurts when you say that sort of thing to my face, you know.
Was someone here crazy? But who was it? Me? Her? Could you be a transfer student?
Oh yeah. Now that you mention it, there's apparently a transfer student moving into our class soon. Mr. Sukashin or something like that.
There were two different conversations going on here. My terror from earlier, together with the anxiety of having no idea when I'd get killed, was starting to fade. But rushing in to replace it was a completely new kind of dread, slithering in to slowly erode my mind.
Hello? Judging by your face, I'm guessing you still don't believe me.
Who are you? Who was she? A murderer, a demon girl, that was who.
Wow, you can't even remember what your own classmate looks like. I can't believe you.
Did she say classmate? So we weren't just friends, but classmates too.
Well, I guess I can't bug you too much about it. You don't come to school very often after all. However, that doesn't mean you can just totally forget I exist. Have you really forgotten my name? There's no way. Come on, you have to know it. I know. You know.
Rimi. 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 Rimi?
That's it. Right on the money. 50 yen to you, contestant.
What?
Yep. Sakihata Rimi. Reporting for duty. Wowee. You really do remember me. Glad to hear it.
How? Was it true? Was the demon girl's name really Rimi? Why had that name suddenly popped into my head just now? Why did I know this girl's name? Maybe she really was my classmate and friend and I'd just forgotten? No, there was no way. I never even heard of the name Sakihata Rimi. It had to be a fake name. It had to be that when I'd said Rimi, she just decided that'd be her name right then and there. It was like one of those spam emails from a Nigerian prince that used your personal info. Besides, other than Yua, I'd never met a 3D girl who'd talked to me like we were this close in my life. In my life? And Yua was the demon girl's underling. Wait. That was it. What the girl calling herself Sakihata was doing right now is exactly the same as what you had done. This temptress knew I wasn't used to interacting with 3D girls, so she was attempting to lead me into a trap by behaving all friendly and trying to seduce me. It was the same exact strategy. And the thing is, while I barely remembered my classmates' faces at all, and I didn't plan to, either, I could say with absolute certainty that I'd never seen this girl's face in the same classroom as me before. Probably. Damn it. I couldn't completely rule it out. After all, whenever I was at school, I was usually glued to my desk while the final bell, until the final bell, pretending to be asleep, having delusions, staring at my desk, or feigning reading my textbooks. I didn't do anything else. I had next to no memory of my classmates' names and faces, so I didn't even try to remember any. Which was it? Was she telling the truth, or was it all a lie? No, it didn't matter didn't matter whether or not we were classmates, because the one thing I knew for sure, the one hard, indisputable fact, was that she had committed murder.
Are you really having trouble remembering? Did you get amnesia when you hit your head a little while ago?
The demon girl reached for my head. I retreated back under my desk to try and avoid her.
Taku, you're being weird. I know. How about you go ask Daichin? If you do, maybe you'll remember then.
Daichin? What the hell was that? Was that a person? Or some sort of secret code? Another demonic incantation?
Come on, Daichin. Daichin, Masumi Dasuki? Huh? She knew Masumi-kun's name. And not only that, but she was calling him Daichin. She wouldn't call him that unless they were really close. Okay, just a sec. The demon girl reached for a bag on the sofa, a bag that wasn't mine, and took out a cell phone. Let's see. Daichin, you should be... Alright, I got him. Here you go. After a bit of fiddling with the phone, she held it out to me. When I made no motion to take it, the demon girl forced a smile and quickly grabbed my hand. Ugh! Oh, come on, loosen up. She forced me to hold the cell phone. The demon girl's hand was soft, and just a little bit cold. I'd expected it to be a lot colder, almost like ice, but it wasn't nearly that bad. I guess even murderers had blood flowing through their veins. And because her hand was unexpectedly feminine, my heart started to thump. Oh, god damn it. Taku. No, don't fall for it. She's a demon. I'd never let her seduce me. I'm not into 3D. Lend me your power, Serotan. Taku. Have you not used a cell phone before? You're supposed to put it up to your ear. Tilting her head, the demon girl peered at my face from point-blank range. With her hand still grabbing mine, she brought the phone up to my ear. But before she did, I quickly looked at the screen. The registered name Daichin was displayed, and it looked like it was already calling them. With no escape, I pressed the receiver up against my ear. I heard the sound of the phone ringing. Eventually that sound stopped, and in its place... Whose eyes are those eyes? Whoa. Were they saying that to me? Or to the demon girl? Why had they said that? The person on the other end remained silent. They didn't say who they were. It sounded like they were downtown or something, as I could hear a bunch of noise coming through the receiver. I was so confused. My voice wouldn't come out. I had no idea what to say. Or, so it goes. Did I use it right? I know that phrase is pretty popular nowadays. Masumi-kun, or at least that's who I thought it was, quickly reverted to his normal tone. Okay, so what's up? Rimi? Rimi. Sekihata Rimi. Masumi-kun knew her. Well, it wasn't like that was anything unusual. Masumi-kun was a natural-born playboy after all. It wouldn't be surprising if he'd gone out with the demon girl in the past, or even if they were in a super intimate relationship now. That didn't matter to me, though. What I needed to know was whether the demon girl was my classmate or not. Taku, did Da-chan pick up? The demon girl was again peering at my face. Shit, she was way too close. I turned my back to her and spoke into the receiver. It's Nishijo. What? It's Taku. You with Rimi? Why had he responded so nonchalantly? Him acting so natural made it sound like me being with the demon girl was an everyday occurrence or something. She dragging you along again? Man, you really got it bad. Would you, do you mind if I give you a piece of advice? Go buy your own damn phone already. Was the person on the other end really Masumi-kun? For example, there was a possibility that the demon girl had made a phone call to someone who only sounded like Masumi-kun. Maybe this person who sounded like Masumi-kun was just another underling of hers, and he was only pretending to be Masumi-kun in order to trick me. I was starting to doubt anything and everything. I didn't know what was true and what was a lie. Hold on. What the hell kind of trap was the demon girl trying to make me fall into anyway? Why bother with a trap this elaborate? In a situation like this, wouldn't it be easier and quicker for her to just go ahead and kill me already? Or was there some reason behind it? Some kind of prerequisite saying she had to trick me, even if it meant taking it this slow? No, maybe it was some hidden camera type thing, spearheaded by Masumi-kun. The girl wasn't actually my classmate, but Masumi-kun's girlfriend, and he'd sent her here in order to screw with me. As fucking if.
If that were the case, how the hell would I explain everything that had happened at the crucifixion crime scene? So, what's up, Taku? Though to be honest, I can't say I'm all that happy about getting a call from a dude. His tone of voice sounded exactly like Masumi-kun's. The more I heard, the more convinced I was that the person on the other end had to be him. You looking for advice now to seduce chicks or something? As if you'd ever call me up about that. Should I start talking? I sensed a gaze on my back. The girl was staring at me. The chills on the back of my neck still hadn't gone away. What kind of expression was the demon girl making? I wanted to turn around and see for myself, but I was too scared. Okay, seriously. What is it? I'm with the girl right now, so make it quick. You what? Hurry up and spit it out. Our class. Yeah? What about our class? In it. What's in it? A girl. Who? Sakihata is her name. Despite steadily becoming more and more incoherent, I somehow managed to explain myself. Slowly, Masumi-kun stopped responding. Silence. However, I could still hear the noise of the city around him, so the call hadn't disconnected or anything. Why wasn't he talking? The next thing I heard was an extremely exaggerated sigh. Look, you sure you haven't got gamer brain or whatever? What? Where'd that come from? Oh, where'd that come from? And not only was it completely out of left field, but he'd brought up that bullshit condition that had been coined despite having no scientific backing whatsoever. You're talking about Rimi, yeah? You're calling right from her phone, so I don't understand where all this dumbass shit's coming from. Oh, I get it now. Rimi put you up to this, didn't she? Is this a prank? You two trying to pull one over on me? Alright then, give Rimi a message from me. Tell her, I'm not stupid enough to fall for your garbage pranks. Is she really? Is she really what? Is she really our classmate? Dude. Look, I get that you barely come to school, but did you seriously forget? Are you really that far gone? Forget me? You've been in the same class with her since the first year of high school, if I remember right. I mean, come on. The three of us saw a movie together pretty recently. I couldn't comprehend what the person that sounded like Masumi-kun was saying. He'd said that the demon girl and I had been in the same class since first year, and that the three of us had seen a movie together pretty recently. Pretty recently? But when exactly? We wouldn't have become pals if it weren't for Rimi. I was hanging out with her when we met. After all, she and I mesh really well together. You know, with how whimsical we both are. This world's pretty huge, but even then, Rimi and I are just about the only ones who'd bother talking to a neat like you. Oops, that might have been a bit harsh. Weird. The words I heard on the other end of the call, not a single one of them felt real to me. I had absolutely no memory of any of it. I couldn't acknowledge that any of that had happened in the past. I just couldn't. It was all some sort... It was all some story that the person who sounded like Masumi-kun had made up. It couldn't be my past. The past could only be established as a truth if a person remembered it. So if I didn't remember it, it wasn't true. Well, while we're at it, I've been meaning to say that Rimi doesn't really act like much of a girl at all, does she? Kinda throws me off, but don't tell her I said that. Who are you? Whoa, have you seriously lost it? If you've forgotten even me too, then you really have been playing too much... hang on. If you've forgotten even me too, then you really have been playing too many games. Unable to take it anymore, I hung up the phone. My breathing had gone extremely heavy without me noticing it. The sweat that had been beading on my forehead showed no signs of stopping. In fact, it was increasing. Long trails of sweat trickled down my entire body, starting from my face and ending at my feet.
Taku, you're covered in sweat.
The demon girl looked worried about me, calmly offered me a handkerchief. A cute, patternless, vermilion handkerchief. There was a faint floral scent to it. Instead of taking it, I attempted to somehow maintain my composure and organize my thoughts about everything that was happening, but in the end, it didn't go too well. I was doubting anything and everything, causing all my thoughts to rapidly churn together into a chaotic whirlpool. Sighing in minor disappointment, the demon girl put away her handkerchief, and then with a triumphant look on her face, she asked me a question. Woo! And we're going to find out what that question is next time on Borderline Games. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Chaos Head, and I will see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.